Hi everybody. Today I'm going to be making a detailed look, or a video of a detailed look at an Otis pie plate selector. But first, this video was sponsored by Wire Cutters. Now a message from our sponsor, said Wire Cutters. The elevator community is flawed because the moderators suck ass because they're way too opinionated and they're really biased too, so they only make the elevator community go more to shit. Thank you, Wire Cutters, and now on with the video. So, I recently obtained this Otis pie plate selector. This came from a mod job, and this is my guinea pig. You know what? We'll bring him out for the video. Whoop. Yes, hello. Oh, it's okay, it's okay. Here, we'll set you right here. Here you go. Good boy. So I obtained this from a modernization going on of an Otis black button. For those of you who know me or know Evanston well, this came from 990 Grove with that 5-floor Otis black, and Nutty is eating a broom. This came from 990 Grove with the 5-floor Otis black button. So basically, that's got a mod, and we ended up getting everything from that. We got lanterns, PIs, the call stations, the car station, and the whole last selector. So let's just start out with taking a look at the selector and how it works. So as you can see here, it's selector. And the main thing, well, the first thing to see is this. This basically is a wheel, it's a pulley wheel, a shiv, and normally this would have selector tape going around. It would fit in these little notches. And the selector tape would be attached to the car. So as the car would move, the selector tape would in turn move, turning this pulley wheel. And as this pulley wheel turns, it turns a system of cogs and gears under here. I don't know if you can see, but so it turns there, and then it turns this system of gears, which does two things. It turns two different things. First thing is, it turns this little chain down here. It's like a little bike chain. You can kind of see it very slowly, but it turns this bike chain, which goes all the way throughout the length of the selector. It also turns this gear, which spins around this rotating shaft, which I'll discuss in a moment. But first off is this. So this, and the selector kind of has two different mechanisms going at the same time. It has this part, which, well, it has the pie plates, the spinning pie plates, which are obviously the more well-known part of it, that it was, hence the name pie plate selector. But it also has this, which is this whole moving plate full of contacts. So basically, when you turn this wheel, or when the elevator moves and this wheel turns, this chain spins. And in turn, it lowers this big plate with all of these little finger things. And the fingers have a current going through them. And as these fingers go down, they have a current. They each transfer the currents to a whole multitude of pads, metal pads under here. It's like a whole array of them. And as they pass the metal pads, they briefly give the pads electrical current. Like the electrical current goes from the finger to the pad. And basically, this would do a multitude of things. So basically, as the elevator moves, and this would give the signals to do different things. Like, for instance, the floor indicator or the floor passing bell. Each of these is controlled by a certain finger. And I'll demonstrate that later on in the video. And also, here we have the pie plate selector, or the pie plate mechanism. As you can see here, and this one's a little easier to see. So as I start spinning this around, there's two parts to this. There are the actual pie plates themselves, and these little switches, or the little contacts. So as I start spinning, you're gonna notice there's a ring with contacts that moves down. And as you can see, look, the pie plates, you can see it spins and it touches it. And I've seen a couple videos explaining these, and they say the current is transferred from the pie plates to the fingers or the contacts. But that's actually, I've determined that's not true. In fact, well, yeah, these are broken. Well, first off, there's a few broken contacts on here, but there are a few intact ones. This one, if you see here, you can see it's a contact. So, well, the finger's a little bent, but normally this should be touching. Sorry, this video quality is ass, but whatever. Yeah, you see it's touching. There's the contact. Let me put my fat finger in there. It makes a complete circuit. But as the pie plate comes around, the plate forces it up and breaks the circuit. So the pie plate doesn't, so the pie plate is not a part of a circuit, it just breaks it and completes other circuits. And here, this circuit is broken until the pie plate comes and then it completes it. See? So that's what the pie plate selector does. And so basically the purpose of this part is to, every time the elevator passes a floor, is to set off multiple circuits. This part sets off individual circuits for each different floor the elevator passes. So I'm gonna show how this works. I have this hooked up, this selector hooked up to a bell and a Dover floor indicator. Basically, I'm gonna show you where I have this floor indicator hooked up. So if we move this down, and you can really get a good view of how this moves now. And there is this big spring in here, and there's that coil, which honestly, I have no fucking clue what it does. But here you can actually now get a better view of all the little pads. And there's Nutty. He's just happily chewing away on the broom. But now you can really see all the metal pads. You see, there's all these little metal pads here that these fingers will touch. They kind of slowly rub against them as they pass by. Basically, I have it set up so one of these pads, and you can actually see this pad in specific was for the floor indicator. It's hard to see, but you would see how there's metal pads, and basically as it would touch each pad, as a finger would touch each pad, that would activate each number, such as it would go down, this would activate 5, then 4, then 3, and then so on. And that's how I have it hooked up to this Dover floor indicator. So if we just go ahead and we plug it in, this fucking mess of cords, we're gonna see that as I start moving this up, as we start moving the fingers up, and they're probably not called fingers, but whatever. Any day now, really gotta get it up there. It's gonna start activating the lights. Or not. Oh, there we go. See? So it looks like one of the fingers dragged across a certain pad that activates SB. It's off the pad, now it's on the pad. Now I keep spinning, the finger moves up, it moves off of the pad for SB, then it moves up, and then onto the pad for C. Then it keeps going, moves off of the pad for C, and then it keeps going up and onto the pad for 1. And that's how floor indicators would work. So basically, and I can show you the exact finger. This is the finger that's controlling the floor indicators right here. And you can see as it moves down, keep an eye on this finger right here. I have it hooked up to DH. This was originally for the position indicator. You can see PI. I don't know what DH was, maybe door something, I don't know. But if you watch this finger, it starts to go down, then it hits this pad right here. Once it hits that pad, the 1 light lights up because it transfers the current. Then we keep moving it down. It is off the pad, then it goes down and it hits this next pad for C, and that's how it works. So basically, this board actually transfers currents, while this board just opens and closes circuits, or this part just opens and closes circuits, this one transfers currents. Now we want to let's get even kinkier with this and add this bell for the floor passing chime. So let's plug in the bell. So now, and this is really simple. This is as simple as adding just plugging in the bell to another spot. So now we need to do it. So we want to have a finger that's with an equal length of the bell, because basically we want it so the bell chimes every time the light switches, right? So we want a finger, so this finger is the light. We want a finger that's at the same level as this finger, so that way it chimes at the same time. So I picked this finger. And so basically I plugged it in so the bell activates when it hits the same pads or the same level pads as the light. And again, I'm really sorry, my explanation is really bad here. But so now we start moving it down, and we have a bell. Look at that. And Nutty is coming over. Hello, Nutty. He's he's purring now. He was very intrigued. Yes, he is. But yeah, so that's pretty much the basics of how a selector works. Again, I will be happy to clarify anything in the comments. Like, my explanation was awful. I'm sure there are people who could explain it a lot better than me. But if you have any questions, you're confused, just put it in the comments, and I'll probably be making more videos about this thing. And if you have any requests of what you want me to show in another video of this thing, or what you want me to do, please put it. This is definitely a work in progress for me, and I can see many potential projects that I can do with this thing. But yeah, I really hope you liked it. And again, if you have any suggestions, put it in the comments, because I'd love to make more videos on this thing. And I guess without further ado, oh, Nutty's being sassy. That's it. Goodbye, guys. That was Nutty's voice, I know. Really cringy, but yes. That's it. Goodbye, everyone.